Chosen one, the chains that have held you captive for years are snapping in this very moment. Stop scrolling and listen carefully. You didn't stumble upon this message. Heaven directed you here because your season of suffering is ending today. Can you feel the shift happening in your spirit right now? If you ignore what's coming next, you'll miss the divine window that's opening specifically for your breakthrough. This is not another inspirational video. This is the prophetic word that's about to change everything. You are not here by accident. What's ahead in this message will expose exactly how God has been working behind the scenes to dismantle your greatest obstacle. But first, here's what you need to understand. Every tear you've cried has been building toward this moment of supernatural intervention. The battle that exhausted you has already been won in the heavenly realm. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly how to step into the freedom that's already been prepared for you. Heaven is about to reveal why your darkest hour was actually the setup for your most glorious comeback. This word isn't just timely, it's the key that unlocks everything you've been praying for. Hit the like button to declare, "I'm ready to receive this divine message." It takes just a second, but help spread this word to thousands of other chosen ones who need it right now. Comment 757 if you're declaring today as the day you step into divine abundance, favor, and breakthrough. What's on your heart today? Leave your prayer request in the comments, and then take a moment to lift someone else up with words of encouragement. When you share your prayer, others will intercede for you. When you pray for someone else, God moves in ways you never imagined. And to all our channel members, thank you for your continued support and faith. May God return it to you in peace, provision, and divine favor. Have you ever just felt it? Not just a fleeting thought, a whisper carried on the wind of passing moments, but a deep, unshakable knowing that resonates in the very core of your spirit, stirring in the quiet, sacred chambers of your soul, telling you that something profoundly significant, something truly monumental is shifting. It's more than a mere hunch, more than a speculative idea born of wishful thinking. It's a gentle, persistent tug, like an invisible current of divine energy pulling you with an irresistible grace towards a new, unexplored shore. It's as if the entire universe, with all its vastness and mystery, is holding its breath, a grand, cosmic pause, waiting with tender, almost palpable anticipation for your next intentional, spirit-led step. This profound feeling, this undeniable sense of profound movement happening right now, in this very instant, it's not just some random coincidence that flickers and fades, a trick of the light, or a figment of your overactive imagination. No, my dear friend, you are quite literally standing at a divine intersection, a sacred, meticulously planned crossroads where the impeccable, flawless timing of heaven, perfectly orchestrated and beyond our limited human comprehension, is converging with breathtaking precision, with your readiness, your heartfelt willingness to bravely step forward in simple yet incredibly powerful obedience. It's a moment designed solely for you, a nexus of destiny and decision, unfolding like a meticulously woven thread in the rich, vibrant tapestry of your life. This isn't just a possibility, it is a promise actively breaking ground in your present reality. And I know, with every fiber of my being, for so many of us, for hearts that have carried burdens far too long, for spirits that have known deep weariness that settles into the very bones, that feeling can at first feel a little overwhelming, perhaps even a bit terrifying. It's understandable, isn't it? We've walked through so many challenging seasons, bearing the immense crushing weight of shame, perhaps from choices we made in moments of profound vulnerability or youthful immaturity, choices that we deeply regret and that still whisper their bitter, accusatory narratives in the quiet of the night, long after the world has gone to sleep. Or maybe it's the persistent, haunting echoes of critical voices, harsh words spoken over us in childhood, in moments of weakness, or by those who should have loved us best. Voices that have haunted your mind long after midnight, whispering insidious doubts, replaying past failures like a broken, scratchy record on an endless loop. It feels so pervasive, doesn't it? Like being perpetually tethered to these invisible, yet undeniably heavy chains that you can almost feel chafing your spirit. They're not made of cold, hard iron, but of the insidious threads of fear, the suffocating weight of guilt, the paralyzing disappointment, and the debilitating sense of limitation, wrapping themselves around your potential, restricting your movement, keeping you from truly breathing freely, from truly soaring into the vast open spaces God designed for you. But here, right now, is the incredible, soul-liberating news that needs to permeate every cell of your being, every crevice of your wounded heart. Those very chains, the ones you've dragged through so many challenging seasons, the ones that have weighed down your spirit and kept you from truly breathing freely, from experiencing the lightness of being. They are, even now, actively being shattered into a million tiny fragments. And this isn't happening just because you've wished it to be so with all your might, or because you've tried harder this time, mustering up every last ounce of your human resolve and grit. No, my beloved, they are breaking, fragmenting into dust, dissolving into thin air, because God, the benevolent creator of the entire universe, the one who holds the stars in his hand and knows the very number of hairs on your head, the one who sees beyond the visible and into the depths of your unspoken longing, has looked upon your specific situation, your unique struggle, your silent, unshed tears, and declared with an unshakable divine resolve, a resounding enough. Enough is enough of this suffering, enough of this bondage, enough of this striving. You are free. For such a long time, we've been implicitly taught, perhaps subtly, unconsciously, through the narratives of culture or even the well-meaning but flawed advice of others. Or maybe we've just unconsciously absorbed the belief that we have to fiercely fight our way out of our struggles. That our deliverance, our breakthrough, our freedom must somehow be earned through arduous effort, through a relentless pursuit of perfection, through self-sacrifice and endless striving. We tell ourselves we have to prove our worthiness to God, to others, and even to ourselves, to strive relentlessly, to claw our way inch by agonizing inch to a better, brighter, more acceptable place. It's like we're constantly trying to dig ourselves out of a deep, dark hole with nothing but a fragile, tarnished spoon, expending every last bit of energy, exhausting ourselves in the futile, self-driven process, only to find the walls of the hole are still rising around us, the darkness still pressing in. But I hear the Spirit of God speaking so clearly, so tenderly yet powerfully, into this very moment, gently, lovingly reminding each of us, whispering directly to the weary places in our souls. My child, you are chosen for freedom, not for striving. You are chosen for rest, not for endless toil. You are chosen for peace, not for perpetual warfare within yourself. Oh, just think about that profound truth for a moment. Freedom. Not freedom after you've proven yourself worthy, not freedom as a reward for your perfect behavior, not freedom once you've finally mastered every flaw, but freedom as your inherent, unearned, precious birthright in Christ Jesus. It is a gift, freely given, waiting to be received. This isn't just some fleeting, feel-good encouragement, not merely a nice thought for the day that fades with the sunset and is forgotten by morning. No, this is a divine strategy, a heavenly battle plan, meticulously unrolling itself right now before your spirit's eyes. It's a sacred blueprint, a detailed map of breakthrough, being laid out just for you, designed to lead you, step by gentle step, into the spacious place, the place of abundant life and boundless possibility that God has always intended for you to inhabit. This is not about your effort, but about His endless grace. Right at this very moment, the enemy of your soul, that cunning, insidious voice of doubt and discouragement, truly hopes you'll simply settle back into the worn-out, familiar old story. It yearns for you to keep hitting the rewind button on your past failures, to endlessly replay what you lost, to let yourself spiral into wondering if God somehow overlooked you, if he missed your specific situation in his grand cosmic plan, if perhaps your name slipped his mind. Perhaps you lost a cherished relationship that felt like the very air you breathed, a job that provided not just income, but stability and purpose, a significant opportunity that seemed tailor-made for you, designed just for your unique gifts, or even just precious, irreplaceable time that feels squandered, wasted, never to be reclaimed. And it's so easy to get stuck there, isn't it? To keep looking back over your shoulder, dwelling in the realm of if only, imagining how different things could have been, how much pain could have been avoided. But I want you to truly, truly grasp this profound truth, to let it sink deep into the marrow of your bones, to let it become an unshakable anchor in your soul. Heaven never, ever wastes a single tear you've shed. Every drop that has fallen, every silent sob that has racked your body in the darkness of night, every moment of raw, vulnerable grief that has pierced your heart, it is seen, it is collected, it is tenderly treasured in the Father's heart, held as a precious offering. As Psalm 56:8 beautifully reminds us, he puts our tears in his bottle, and God, the faithful one, the covenant keeper, never ever misplaces a single promise he's made to you. He doesn't forget your name, your needs, or your deepest desires. He's not absent-minded or distracted by the vastness of the universe. His word is eternal, his character unchanging, and his promises are unbreakable, precisely tailored for your life and your unique journey, designed to unfold in perfect harmony with his divine will. Think about Joseph in the Bible. What an epic, deeply human story of triumph, born from the crucible of tribulation, right? Betrayed by his own brothers, cast into a literal dark, foreboding pit, then cruelly sold into slavery in a foreign, unknown land. Talk about feeling utterly forgotten, completely abandoned, and like your entire life has been irrecoverably derailed, ripped from its intended course. He ended up unjustly imprisoned for years, due to false accusations, a life sentence for a crime he didn't commit, a crushing injustice that seemed to seal his fate. From our limited human perspective, from the vantage point of fear and disappointment, those moments in the pit, those crushing disappointments, the relentless injustices, they looked like punishment, like a series of terrible, unfair setbacks that would forever define his fate, forever mark him as a victim. But if you read the whole incredible story, if you lean in and allow the divine narrative to unfold, if you trust in the overarching hand of God, you begin to see with stunning clarity that every single one of those painful, dark moments was secretly, mysteriously, a crucial, indispensable step towards the throne. Each crushing blow, each seemingly insurmountable obstacle, each moment of profound loneliness was not meant to break him, to crush his spirit into dust, but to refine him, to purify his motives, to teach him deep, abiding truths about reliance on God alone, to prepare him for the immense responsibility, the incredible favor that awaited him. It's truly amazing how God works, isn't it? His ways are higher than our ways, his thoughts beyond our thoughts, his vision so much grander than ours. So understand this profound truth for your own precious life. Let it settle deep into your being, your pit season, whatever form it took, a difficult trial that stripped you bare, leaving you feeling exposed and vulnerable, a period of isolating wilderness where hope felt distant, a time of deep, searing heartbreak that left you wounded. It was never, ever meant as punishment. It was preparation. It was God, with his divine foresight, his infinite wisdom, and his unwavering, relentless love, getting you ready, molding you, refining you, shaping your character, developing your resilience, for the elevated platform he already placed your name on, for the powerful purpose he already assigned to you before you even drew your first breath. He was shaping you for greatness, for profound impact, for incredible influence, even when you felt like you were at your absolute lowest, utterly unseen and forgotten by the world. Now, pay really close, intentional attention to this next part, because it's a genuine game changer, a truth that holds the power to shift everything for you, to unlock new dimensions of possibility. Breakthrough starts not when you see the tangible evidence with your physical eyes, not when you can finally touch it, feel it, or confirm it with logic and reason, but when you believe with a quiet, fierce, unwavering conviction that settles deep within your spirit, that the word which has been spoken over your life, the divine decree from the mouth of God Himself, is infinitely greater, immeasurably more powerful, and ultimately more true than anything that has ever been spoken against. You, whether by others, by the cruel hand of circumstances, or by the insidious, self-sabotaging whispers of your own inner critic. Think about it for a moment. Our human minds are so intricately wired to look for proof first, aren't they? To wait until we can clearly see the results, until the evidence is undeniable, until the path is perfectly illuminated, before we dare to believe, before we dare to take a step. But faith operates on an entirely different plane. It's a spiritual currency, a profound act of trust and surrender. It's believing before seeing, stepping into the unseen with bold confidence, even when every logical fiber of your being screams to wait. And as your faith, even if it feels like just a tiny mustard seed, so small yet so full of potential, begins to align itself with God's perfect, majestic timeline, you'll slowly, subtly, yet undeniably start to feel it. The very atmosphere around you is shifting. It's like a tangible change in the air, a spiritual breeze of renewal, a noticeable lightness replacing the former heaviness, a profound sense of hope blooming in the deepest, most wounded parts of your spirit, where despair once settled its heavy, suffocating shadow. The air feels different, charged with possibility, pregnant with expectation. It's time, beloved, to stop agreeing with the painful labels that others have so carelessly, or perhaps even cruelly, placed on your pain, on your past, on your potential, or even the subtle self-limiting labels you've unconsciously put on yourself, perhaps as a coping mechanism or a way to manage expectations. Maybe someone, in a moment of thoughtlessness or malice, called you broken or damaged beyond repair, or too emotional, too sensitive to navigate this harsh world, too weak to overcome. Maybe, through a series of misfortunes, disappointments, or prolonged struggles, you've started to believe deep down in the core of your being that you're somehow unlucky or always destined to struggle, caught in an inescapable cycle of hardship. Those, my friend, are just stories, mere narratives, false blueprints that have desperately tried to define you, to limit your potential, to steal your God-given identity, to rob you of the vibrant life you were created to live. But God's living, active word defines you entirely differently, with unwavering truth and boundless love. It declares you as whole, as chosen, as free, as fearfully and wonderfully made, marked for purpose and destined for victory, a beloved child and heir to His kingdom. Remember the poignant, deeply moving story of the woman with the issue of blood, described with such tender detail in Mark 5. For 12 long, agonizing years, she suffered from a chronic, debilitating illness that not only drained her physically, leaving her weak and weary, but isolated her socially, economically, and spiritually. She was considered ritually unclean, an outcast, condemned to live on the fringes of society, untouchable, alone. She had spent all her money, every last coin, on doctors and remedies, seeking relief and healing, and she was only getting worse, her hope dwindling with each passing day, like a flickering candle in a fierce wind. Can you even begin to imagine the depth of her desperation, the weight of her suffering, the profound loneliness of her existence? Yet, in the deepest, most sacred part of her heart, a tiny ember of belief still glowed. She knew with an unshakable conviction that if she could just touch the very hem of Jesus's garment, the fringe of his cloak, she would be made completely whole. She didn't shout the loudest to get his attention. She didn't gather a crowd to pray for her, seeking public validation. It was her quiet, desperate, and deeply personal faith, a belief so strong it propelled her through the dense, bustling crowd, through every physical barrier, through every doubt, and pulled the miracle from the unseen realm into her present, tangible reality. She was one determined, courageous reach away from wholeness, and my dear friend, so are you. Your breakthrough, your healing, your deliverance doesn't require a public spectacle, a grand display, or the validation of others. It requires a private, intimate act of desperate, unwavering belief, a reach of faith. And if your heart is quite literally trembling with anticipation right now, if you feel a little flutter, a warmth, a surge of excitement and hope bubbling up within you, know this with absolute certainty. That's not just nerves or wishful thinking playing tricks on your mind, creating false hope. No, my beloved, that's the beautiful, unmistakable confirmation of the Spirit of God, resonating deep within your spirit, confirming to you that this window of opportunity, this precise moment you find yourself in, is not random or accidental. It is precision. It's a divinely orchestrated opening, a cosmic alignment of spiritual forces, perfectly designed and timed just for you, tailored to your unique journey. Some of the greatest, most profound breakthroughs in life don't come when you're frantically searching for answers, desperately trying to force a solution with your own finite strength, or endlessly Googling every possible scenario to fix things, burning yourself out in the process. They come when you quiet yourself, when you surrender the need to control, when you release the grip of anxiety and start simply sitting with revelation. It's a spiritual posture of receptivity, a humble openness to receive what God desires to impart. It's like a sudden, brilliant light bulb going off inside your spirit, a deeper understanding that just settles gently, profoundly, definitively into your soul, bringing crystalline clarity where there was once only confusion and obscurity. It's less about exhaustive doing and more about humble, open receiving His truth, His peace, His divine strategy, His unwavering love that cuts through all the noise. If that deep resonance touches your spirit, if you're hungry, truly hungry, for that kind of clarity and understanding, for the practical wisdom that can transform your daily existence and bring profound peace to your most challenging situations, then the 10 Hidden Truths of Jesus Parables is truly your next intentional step. It's not just another book that you'll read and forget. It's a short, incredibly powerful ebook designed to open up practical, spirit-led truths that can directly impact your everyday life. Truths about managing your money in a way that aligns with God's principles of abundance and stewardship, about receiving healing not just physically, but deeply, profoundly, emotionally, restoring broken places within, and about gaining incredible emotional clarity in a world that often feels overwhelmingly confusing, chaotic, and relentlessly demanding. This isn't just theory or abstract theology that remains distant and untouchable. It's tangible wisdom, distilled from the timeless living teachings of Jesus himself, wisdom that you can immediately apply to your circumstances, allowing it to become the very fabric of your living, guiding your decisions and transforming your reality. The link to get it is right there in the first comment, lovingly provided for you as a divine impartation. But please know, with a sense of gentle urgency, it's only available for a limited time, a window of grace that won't last forever. Do not, I implore you, let this divine download, this specific and timely revelation meant just for your season, pass you by. It is a gift for your season, a key to unlock your next level. It's a beautiful, consistent pattern woven throughout the entire tapestry of history, isn't it? God has always, without fail, made a habit of choosing those the world called the least likely. He doesn't pick the most qualified, the most polished, the most naturally gifted, or the most eloquent. Rather, he miraculously qualifies the called, equipping those he chooses with everything they need for their divine assignment, perfecting his strength in their weakness. Think about Moses. He was so utterly convinced in his own mind that he was unqualified, that he stammered when he spoke, that he had a past that haunted him with memories of failure and uncontrolled anger, a grave mistake that sent him into exile. He tried to run, repeatedly, from his monumental assignment to lead an entire nation out of bondage, to confront the most powerful empire of his time. He doubted his own abilities, repeatedly telling God, "I'm not the one for this. My words stumble. Send someone else. I am not able." But God, in his infinite wisdom and boundless patience, used 40 long, arduous years in the wilderness, a season that must have felt like utter obscurity, a profound waiting, a crushing isolation, to strip away Moses' self-reliance, his dependence on his own strength and intellect, and to ignite his true, God-given authority, his unwavering absolute reliance on the divine. This moment you're in, right now in your own life, with all its questions and longings, with all its quiet anxieties and fervent prayers, this is your burning bush moment. That experience for Moses wasn't just a literal bush consumed by fire. It was a profound, divine encounter that shifted everything for him, irrevocably changing the trajectory of his life, turning a fearful fugitive into a powerful deliverer. It's that sacred moment for you where all the excuses you've held on to, all the doubts that have whispered their insidious lies in your ear for far too long, telling you you're not enough, not worthy, not capable, they have no more power over you. They are being consumed, utterly dissolved by the purifying, liberating fire of God's majestic, holy presence. So how do you truly begin this transformative journey? You begin by consciously, deliberately, and with the full, unwavering weight of your will, renouncing the hidden agreements you've unknowingly made with limitation. These are those unspoken vows, those quiet contracts we sometimes make with ourselves in moments of weariness or profound defeat. I'll never truly get ahead, no matter how hard I try. This is just my lot in life, my perpetual struggle, my inescapable fate. I'm always going to struggle with this particular weakness or this destructive pattern. It's just who I am. These are insidious, quiet agreements that keep us trapped, self-imprisoned, unknowingly perpetuating cycles we desperately wish to break free from. Today, in this very moment, I want you to speak it aloud, to let your voice fill the room you're in, to let your spirit hear the powerful resonance of your own declaration, to let the very spiritual atmosphere shift around you, yielding to the authority of your God-given voice. I am not what happened to me. I am not defined by my past. I am what God has called forth. I am what God says I am. Say it not as a mere hopeful wish, not as a fleeting affirmation, but with unwavering conviction, with every fiber of your being, with a certainty that roots itself in the deepest part of your soul. This isn't just a hopeful affirmation. It's a profound declaration of your true, unblemished identity in Christ, a reclaiming of the divine inheritance that is rightfully yours, a shattering of every lie the enemy has ever whispered. Get ready, truly ready, with an open heart and outstretched hands, because what comes next in your life will courageously confront every single comfort zone you've unconsciously built around disappointment, every familiar habit of settling for less than God's best. It will challenge the well-worn, almost comfortable feeling of struggle that you've perhaps unknowingly grown used to, clinging to it like an old worn blanket, a deceptive sense of security. God is breaking you out of the familiar prison of the known and dramatically ushering you into the boundless, glorious freedom of His new. Now take a quiet moment, a truly honest moment, to reflect deeply on what has truly kept you bound. What are those repeating, frustrating patterns in your life that seem to play out again and again, trapping you in a cycle of frustration, discouragement, or lack? Patterns don't just break by accident or through sheer willpower alone. They are exposed by light. the piercing, illuminating light of God's eternal truth, the gentle yet powerful illumination of His Holy Spirit, shining into the hidden corners of your heart. I genuinely encourage you with all my heart to pray specifically, with earnest longing and humble vulnerability, for the Holy Spirit to reveal to you what has been secretly feeding the delay in your life, what has been acting as an unseen blockage, a spiritual dam in the river of blessing. Sometimes the very thing blocking you isn't some grand, imposing outside circumstance that you can easily point to. Rather, it's hidden disappointments, quiet griefs, unhealed wounds that you've tenderly nursed in silence, deep within your heart, too painful to acknowledge, too raw to confront. Maybe it was a prayer that went unanswered in a moment of great need, a beautiful dream that died before its time, a sacred trust that was painfully betrayed by someone you loved, and instead of truly processing it, allowing yourself to feel and heal, you just buried it deep within, hoping it would simply fade away with time, hoping its sting would vanish. But silent hurts often become silent blockages, like invisible dams in the flow of grace and blessing, keeping you from the fullness God intends. It's time, my friend, to bring it into the open, to shine God's light upon it, to expose it to His healing touch. Lay it bare before God, just as King Hezekiah, in a profound act of vulnerable yet resolute faith in the Old Testament, did. When the powerful Assyrian king, Sennacherib, sent a threatening, boastful letter full of taunts and insults against God and Jerusalem, designed to instill fear and shatter hope, Hezekiah didn't just hide it in despair or try to fight the battle alone in his own strength. He took that letter, that physical manifestation of the enemy's direct threat, and with a heart full of trust, he went into the sacred house of the Lord and literally spread it out before God. Isaiah 37:14. He laid it all out there, openly, authentically, every painful word. And what happened? God intervened with unmistakable clarity, with overwhelming power, sending an angel to deliver His people. Do the same, my beloved. Lay your letter, your deepest worry, your nagging fear, your profound disappointment, that difficult diagnosis, your crushing financial burden, your fractured relationship, your broken heart. Lay it all unapologetically, honestly, vulnerably before God, and watch with awe as His divine intervention unmistakably unfolds, bringing breakthrough where there was only limitation. Allow His voice, the compassionate, authoritative voice of your loving Father, to become profoundly louder, clearer, and more authoritative than every single counterfeit narrative, every lie, every limiting belief that has ever tried to define you, to diminish your worth, to steal your joy. You are being called to a higher discernment, a spiritual sensitivity that transcends mere human understanding, that pierces through the veil of deception. This means moving beyond just hearing the clamoring, noisy voices of the world, or even the subtle, insidious whispers of fear in your own mind, and learning with divine guidance to distinguish them without question from God's pure, unwavering truth, the voice that brings life. It's a sacred place where you stop negotiating, where you cease to compromise with fears that are cleverly masquerading as wisdom, as prudence, as protection. Fear, you see, will often try to dress itself up as being realistic or being cautious, telling you to hold back, to play it safe, to not get your hopes up too high, lest you be disappointed again, lest you be hurt. But that, my precious one, is not wisdom. That is limitation, cunningly trying to keep you from your destined breakthrough, trying to protect you from the very expansion God desires for your life, from the boundless possibilities He has for you. God cannot truly, fully bless the mask you wear, the facade of strength or perfection you present to the world, the carefully curated image you project. He can't pour the vibrant new wine of His Spirit, His fresh anointing, His overflowing grace, into old wineskins that are patched up with pretense, with hiding, with unaddressed wounds, unable to contain the new outpouring. He can't fully move in your life with the unrestrained power and grace He longs to when you're hiding behind a carefully constructed image, afraid to be truly seen, truly known, truly vulnerable. It's time, therefore, to courageously drop every pretense, every mask, every carefully constructed image of who you think you should be, and simply be who you truly are in Him. In that raw, beautiful, courageous vulnerability, in that space of authentic surrender, watch with bated breath as the supernatural becomes your new normal. Not just big, flashy, stadium-shaking miracles that make headlines, but God's intimate presence and powerful intervention woven seamlessly into the very everyday fabric of your life. The perfect timing that astounds you, the unexpected favor that opens doors you never knocked on, the profound, unshakable peace that settles your heart even in the midst of chaos, the divine guidance that illuminates your path. You are not merely on the verge of a new chapter in your life, my dear friend. You are on the cusp of an entirely new book, a fresh volume in the epic story of your journey. The divine author of your unique story, the one who never misses a single detail, who orchestrates every plot twist, every unexpected turn, every moment of suspense and triumph for your ultimate good and His highest glory, is rewriting your narrative even now, in real time, with an ink that never fades, with a love that never fails. Do not for a single second underestimate the immense unseen power that is stirring in the spiritual realm on your behalf, moving mountains you cannot see and parting seas you cannot yet perceive. Just because you can't perceive it with your physical eyes, just because you can't yet grasp it with your finite human mind, doesn't mean it isn't happening, powerfully and profoundly, beneath the surface of your everyday reality. Think of a tiny seed planted in the fertile ground. There's immense, complex, unseen activity happening beneath the surface. A silent miracle unfolding in the darkness, a bursting forth of life, long before the first tender sprout finally breaks through the soil, reaching for the sun. The delay you felt, the long season of waiting, the quiet frustration that has weighed on your spirit, it is officially over. The doors that seemed irrevocably shut, perhaps even bolted shut with heavy chains and reinforced with despair, are now, in this divine moment, swinging wide open before you, revealing paths you never imagined, vistas of possibility you dared not dream of. And what you may have lost in the past season, that profound sense of missed opportunity, squandered time, diminished resources, or even lost joy, it's not just coming back. It's coming back multiplied, pressed down, shaken together, and running over, as the scripture beautifully declares in Luke 6:38. Imagine a cup filled not just to the brim, but overflowing so abundantly, so generously, so lavishly, that you simply can't contain it all. That, my beloved, is precisely what God is doing for you right now, in this unfolding season of restoration and abundance. Tonight, before you drift off to sleep, before the quiet of the night settles around you, wrapping the world in its gentle embrace, I want you to do something tangible, something deeply personal, something that will powerfully seal this message in your spirit, anchoring it firmly in your heart as an unshakable truth. Find a quiet moment, a sacred space, even if it's just for a few breaths, a few moments of intentional stillness. Lay your hand gently over your heart, feeling the steady rhythm of your own beating life, the sacred pulse of creation within you, and speak these words aloud. Let them resonate in your spirit. Let them become a bold, unshakable declaration of your faith, a truth you are claiming for your life, a sacred vow to yourself and to God. I release all fear. I release all doubt. I step into my divine purpose fully and completely, and I trust that my miracle is already on its way, already in motion, already manifesting. Say it not as a hopeful wish whispered into the darkness, but with every fiber of your being, with an inner knowing that transcends circumstances, that defies logic, that stands firm against every storm. This isn't just a fleeting desire. It's a powerful act of agreement with what God is already doing, a covenant spoken from your lips, activated by your belief. If you're truly ready to claim this new season, to courageously walk into this new story God is writing for you, then share this message with someone, anyone, who needs hope right now. Someone who needs to hear that their pit season was truly preparation, that their invisible chains are actively breaking, that their miracle is not only possible, but already on the way, breaking through the barriers. Let your faith go ahead of you, paving the way, clearing the path, making room for the divine to unfold in unimaginable ways. Heaven is watching for your agreement, waiting with bated breath for you to say yes to all He has lovingly prepared for you. Your time is now. You are ready, and God, with open arms and an overflowing heart, is profoundly ready for you to step into the fullness of His incredible plan.